Do you think my mom would get mad if I ate a Hershey bar? I think she'd get kind of mad, but I really want it. I mean, it's just chilling right there in front of my face. Right there. I want it. I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna take my chances here. I probably should have gone into this with some kind of idea. No. She's sitting the wrong way. Well, this is my baby. Pets. Let's talk about my pets. I have my baby Zoe. She was my first doggy ever. Alright, I grew up with like 5 cats. My parents got Frisky exactly a year before I was born. I like rescued him from abusive owners. Like they kind of just like left him in the doorway, and then they like kept him, and then when the owners were like, that's our kitten, my parents were like, no, it's not. I was also Muffins, or Muffin, I don't know, I was really little. Peaches, I don't remember Peaches at all. A guy, Peaches. I don't remember them all, but just in some of my baby pictures. And Patches, I remember the day she died. It was the first time I ever picked her up. I don't know, it's like one of those like random memories from my childhood that like I was really too young to remember anything, but it's like that one snippet of time. It was the first time I ever picked her up because she never let anyone pick her up. And I was like, look, Mommy, and my mom was like, oh, put her down. And then she died later that day, like during that night, I guess. Now we always had this up here, by the way. For a while, like I have a 2-story house, and before we moved in, people had converted it to like a 2-family house. That one family got upstairs, one got downstairs, and me and my parents were living upstairs. And then the people downstairs moved out. We turned it into the 1-family house. And then my mom's boss needed somewhere to live until her oldest son was done with high school. And so we gave them a place, and then they moved into an apartment, but they couldn't have cats. So we took their cat, Desi. And he's pretty much my cat. He likes me more than he likes my mom. My mom's friend, Shelly, has 2 turtles. One is like, Shell is like huge, like this. Shell is maybe like that big. I don't know, the ankle's kind of weird, so. My friend JT, I used to hang out with him all the time with my best friend Melissa. He caught turtles, and he had like 5 one summer, and he caught one for me and Melissa, and we named it Delilah, because Melissa said something funny, and it demanded that we name the turtle Delilah. JT let it go because he got pissed at us, like he stole it and let it go. He caught us another turtle. We never really named it. Oh, we named it Mr. T, that's right. No, T for turtle. There's this lake. It's not really near my house, but it's close-ish. We were at some lake cleanup day thing, and my mom's like, oh my god, and we're like, what? And she's like, I almost stepped on this little baby turtle. And Shelly picks it up. Shelly knows a lot about turtles. She looks at and turtles hatch on land, and she looks at the bottom of its shell. She's like, oh my god, and we're like, what? And it still had a little piece of its eggshell stuck on the bottom of its shell. Like, it hadn't even made it to the lake yet. And Shelly took it home because the lake was, that lake's quite gross. Hold on. Hello? By the way, you happen to call while I'm in the middle of making a video. Say hi.
Hi.
I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, the turtle. My skirt. And then like November, she gave him to me as like an early Christmas present. So I now have a turtle in my room. I love him. I love him to death. I've loved turtles for so many years. And I was asking my mom if I could have a pet turtle forever. and I was never really allowed. Like the ones JT caught, I had to keep them a secret from my mom. That's why we kept them outside. My mom used to teach people how to sew, and she told this one lady, Susan, and she'd go over to Susan's house every other Saturday night, or maybe it was every Saturday. I don't remember, but it was one of those. And I'd go with her. She and the daughter, Shannon, husband Steve, son Steve. And me and Shannon ended up getting really close, but there's a long story behind why we're not friends anymore. Well, they had pet lizards, like the little tiny, like anole lizards, and I loved them, like, and I wanted one for years. Not as long as I wanted a turtle, but for very long. And I was at a craft show with my mom one time, and they had anole lizards, and they were only $15 with that little cage that's like this big. And yeah, and so I bought one, 15 bucks, and me and my mom went to like PetSmart or Petco or I don't know, some pet store, and we bought like a bigger tank and all this dirt, and I couldn't name him. Like, I had no idea what to name him. I asked other people, like, other people named him so many different things. Like, someone actually named him Peavy. Peavy. And I'm a very random person. And also, my family all lives in Massachusetts because that's where I'm from. We were on our way there, and I was laying in the back of the car. And then I was randomly just like, Pickles! And my lizard tank, because we couldn't leave my lizard alone for a week, was sitting in the passenger seat up front because I wanted to be in the back so I could have more room. So my mom turns her head and she looks at the lizard tank and goes, "Hey, your name is Pickles." So his name was Pickles, and I loved him. Like, he almost never went one day without being out of his tank, and he went through this little phase where he didn't like me, but then he got really used to me, and like I would like whenever anyone else tried to pick him up, he'd like jump back onto me, and I thought it was like the cutest thing ever, and I was like, oh, I love you. And I told, like, creepy me, I told my lizard everything. Like, I always talked to him when I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone else. And I gave him 2 crickets every night, 2 or 3. And one night, I was gonna give him 3 crickets because I had only given him 2 the night before. But I only had 2 left because 1 died overnight. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to take him out of his tank that night. That was the only night since the day I got him, and like it was months later, that I didn't get to take him out of his tank. But I gave him his crickets. I sat there, I watched him eat them because I wanted to make sure he was eating them and that they wouldn't go hide somewhere. The next night, I was going to bed, I was going to feed him, and he was just, he died, but it looked like he'd been dead for like 3 days. It was quite upsetting, and like it was probably like I had been struggling with depression. It was kind of like the last straw, and I had like a complete mental breakdown. When she went downstairs with the lizard, I didn't know what she was gonna do with it, but she went downstairs with him, and I started like bawling. Like, I'd already been kind of crying, but then I started bawling like a 2-year-old, like, it was really upsetting. But, so now I have my dog, and my cat, and my lizard. And I love them dearly. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think I'm gonna end this video, because, actually no, I want this to be exactly half an hour. I'm sorry that I'm really bad at talking, and the editing's probably gonna be weird, because I would start a sentence, and then stop, and it would be like, and then I was like, yeah. So I'm gonna have to like edit all that out because this video is gonna probably be kind of long. So 5, 4, 3, 2, bye.